Coming up on this edition of VCU Insight.
The Richmond City Council may be denying bus service to the disabled.
A program encourages Richmond students to eat healthier.
VCU police create a new app to reduce crime on campus.
And the March on Washington comes to Richmond.
All that and more.
VCU Insight starts now. Hello, and welcome to VCU Insight. I'm Paisley Winkler.
And I'm Philip Marcello. Thanks for joining us. Federal officials are still looking for answers after the deadly shooting at the Navy Yard in Washington, D.C. this week. 12 people and the gunman were killed Monday morning. The gunman has been identified as 34-year-old Aaron Alexis. Officials say he spent 4 years in the Navy before being discharged in 2011. On Monday, Alexis was working as an IT contractor with medium security clearance, and officials say he had an ID badge to enter the Navy Yard. According to NBC News, this is the worst mass shooting at a military installation since the shooting at Fort Hood, Texas in 2009. Investigators are now painstakingly trying to piece together what would make Alexis open fire on innocent victims.
This week marks the two milestones in our country's history. September 20th is the 40th anniversary of Billie Jean King's triumph against Bobby Riggs in the Battle of the Sexes tennis match in 1973. It is also the 50th anniversary of John F. Kennedy's proposal to go back to the moon in 1963.
There's a controversial decision for Richmond City Council to cut bus service to the disabled. The decision has been put off twice this month, leaving people who use the service wondering what's next. Insight's Natasha Hauskamp reports.
Crystal Harris and her family bowed their heads in prayer while patiently waiting for a decision from the Richmond City Council in early September to see if routes would be cut. That decision has yet to come. Crystal and Randy Harris have cerebral palsy, which prevents them from driving a car. The care buses GRTC provides are their only source of transportation. With the possibility of losing nights, weekends, and holidays, Crystal and her husband wonder how they will get around.
It's really opened up a door of independence for us because he and I live alone and we do our own, our own everything.
An effort to support the disabled community, Crystal started a petition drive. She received over 600 signatures in a week to help plead her case to the council members. GRTC and many other public transit systems nationwide have come face to face with the same budget concerns. The battle to supply everyone's needs has left many transit officials scrambling.
The challenge we have at GRTC is to provide the most service we can for the limited dollars that we have available. And it's a pretty tough job it can be at times like this when your budget is limited.
According to last year's annual report, the transit system was almost $33 million in the red. Hagan says by increasing fares, GRTC could make $135,000.
I don't want the whole disabled community to lose it either, because they depend on it.
Even though Crystal is worried, she will do whatever it takes to make sure her voice is heard. For VCU Insight, I'm Natasha Hauskamp.
Richmond City Council will take up the issue again later this month. The people who use the service are hoping a decision will be made at that time.
Things are kind of warm over at the Byrd Theater in Carytown. After 47 years, the historical theater's air conditioning unit has given out. Replacing the unit will cost $100,000. In an effort to raise money, the Byrd Theater Foundation has taken to the web to keep the AC running. Indiegogo is an online page to accept donation towards the new AC unit. If you would like to donate to the Byrd Theater's Foundation, just go to Indiegogo.com and search Keep the Byrd Humming. At last check, the Byrd had raised less than $10,000 towards the $100,000 they need.
The Richmond Planning Commission has endorsed the plan to build an amphitheater near Browns Island. According to NBC 12, the commission endorsed the idea of a natural amphitheater off the James River. Venture Richmond says the amphitheater would stage events like the popular Folk Festival. There is no construction planned at this time.
September is National Hunger Awareness Month. To kick it off, Richmond's Feed More has received a large donation from Kroger to support the children's program. Insight Nana Bonsu reports.
This month starts the school year for students like Darryl Wilson, a varsity football player at Highland Springs High School in eastern Henrico County. He is one of about 100 students who take part in their after-school nutrition program. It's provided by Feed More, a hunger relief agency in Central Virginia.
It benefited me by helping me eat more, eat healthier.
Whether it's canned goods or fresh fruits, Kroger's $15,000 donation will provide about 75,000 meals for children in Feed More's programs.
Chicken, broccoli, carrots.
According to Richmond Public Schools, 73% of their students qualify for free and reduced lunch. Feed More's Jeff Baldwin says they need this meal.
So, because for a lot of these kids, that's the last meal they'll get that day.
In a classroom of about 20 students, at least 3 children are going home hungry, which is why schools like Highland Spring provide after-school meals for children taking part in any after-school activity. Whether it's activities like tutoring or football, led by varsity football coach William Alston, he encourages kids to get involved in the program.
But by the reaction of our students standing in line ready for food on breakfast or dinner or lunch, we know it's a benefit to them.
As for Feed More, they're just trying to provide one meal at a time for children like Darryl. For VCU Insight, I'm Nana Bonsu.
Feed More also just started this year's backpack program that provides students with meals on Fridays to last them throughout the weekend. After 50 years in business, Pearly's restaurant on East Grace is closing. The popular brunch spot is a Richmond staple. On September 5th, owner Gray White closed the doors and left a note saying he, quote, run into a rough patch. A commercial real estate agent from Richmond tweeted that Pearly's both the business and the building is going up for sale for nearly $500,000.
21-year-old Longwood student Jacob Richardson is expected to be back in court in 2 weeks for the accidental shooting of Kathleen Battle. Farmville police say Richardson was trying to unload a handgun when it accidentally went off on September 16th. Kathleen Battle is expected to be okay.
VCU is currently upgrading its video surveillance system on the Monroe Park campus. According to the Commonwealth Times, the new surveillance system is estimated to cost the university $1.5 million. It is expected to be completed by the end of the fall 2013. There is also a new surveillance system in the works for MCV campus. Its completion date is unknown. Also on the VCU campus, police are making sure students feel safer this year. The latest effort involves downloading a new app for your phone. Insight Kyrie Stewart tells us how VCU police are going mobile this year.
Since the 2007 Virginia Tech shooting, campus safety has been a prime concern for many. The tragedy prompted a survivor to create an app called Live Safe for campuses to use to help concerned students stay connected with police. VCU freshman Angela Benitez, who's from Williamsburg, says recent crime has made him more reluctant to go out at night, and any measures taken by police are welcome.
I go out to eat sometimes, but never by myself. It's my first time in a big city.
Live Safe has already been in use at colleges such as the University of Richmond and Georgetown University. When somebody sends in a tip, it comes right back here to the VCU Police Communications Center, where personnel file each tip and send out to officers to investigate. Last month, campus police brought the free app to the VCU campus, allowing students to send in information about possible crimes by text, audio, or video.
We've received information about accidents. We've received information about loud noises. We've received information, a variety of different things.
VCU Police Chief John Venuti told us that the app has gotten more than 1,600 downloads, and they receive information every day from concerned students and faculty.
If you see something out there that is unsafe or you think that needs attention, I want students to kind of bring that to our attention.
Benitez says these efforts from VCU Police give her some added security.
I admire that, and it makes me feel safer.
And give police a cyber advantage. For VCU Insight, I'm Kyrie Stewart.
Police encourage VCU students to download the app Live Safe. It's available for iPhone and Android devices.
VCU was recently featured on the U.S. News & World Report for Best College Ranking. VCU tied with 6 other schools, including Georgia State University, Boston University, and the University of Central Florida. The ranking was based on innovative changes made to areas in academics, faculty, and student life.
VCU Athletics is also gaining national recognition this year. After falling to unranked University of Alabama at Birmingham in the season opener, the VCU men's soccer team has tied 1 and beaten 2 ranked opponents to climb to the top 10 in the NCAA polls. The boys will return home against yet another ranked opponent, Coastal Carolina, on Saturday, September 28th.
It has always been hard to find a parking space on campus, but this semester VCU has made some changes. The university raised parking rates for students and visitors. Visitor parking increased from $6 to $10 a day. Many people use VCU parking decks while attending city festivals and events. There's no word yet if parking rates will increase for special events. Have you ever had and experienced a bad breakup? Poet Rob Gibson has, and he used his heartbreak to put into verse. Sierra Jarrett is in the studio with more.
I'm here with poet Rob Gibson, a recent VCU graduate who wrote a book called Of a Sunken Relationship. It's a compilation of poems written about the love and loss of a past VCU student. Thanks for being here today, Rob.
Thank you for having me.
So can you please tell us about your book and how you came up with the idea of your book?
Well, the premise of the book is I was in a relationship for 6 weeks, and in that, the young lady told me to not write poems about her. And then when things went sour, I was like, all I want to do is write poems about you now. So to deal with that, or to handle that, I just wrote, and it ended up being 3 years later, and I was like, whoa, I think I have a book. And the Student Media Center here, they were like, Rob, you've been submitting things, you submit a lot of work to us, and we have a little bit of money, extra money left over. And I was like, okay, well, I have a book. And they were like, let's do it. And we did it, and now it's here, and I feel like I have a newborn child.
Does this young lady know about your child? Does she know?
I don't think so.
Would you tell her?
Eventually.
Eventually?
Yeah.
How do you think she'll feel about the book?
Well, the book isn't negative towards her. It's just exploring my personal feelings of having to deal with a relationship that is ended. And so that's me going through the motions, the ups and downs of how it felt afterwards.
Mm-hmm. What was your first poem that you wrote for this book?
Well, the way the book is set up, it's in the order, it's chronological, so it's in the order of how I wrote the books, how I wrote the poems for the book, and She Was the first one. And it was just exploring how the energy that I felt the first time that I met her, but then also after things ended, how I felt as well. So making those contrast and have a conversation with each other.
How do you feel this book has made you do you feel like it's made you a better poet by writing this? And I know when I was at your book signing, you said you felt very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So like, how do you feel now after writing it and publishing it?
I still feel vulnerable because my story is out there to the masses. But with that, I also know that vulnerability is a strength, because this book is it's my first book. And in sharing stories about the book and telling people about certain poems within it, it's very relatable. And it just reminded me of the scope of the human experience and how a lot of people can experience the same range of emotions within a lifetime. And as far as writing style, I've grown a lot. I started off with the way I wrote when I posted up poems on MySpace, and it was very choppy. It was very surface level. And with that, of a sunken relationship, you have the surface of the water, and then it gets deep. So it kind of follows that, the way that I guess nature has it. You have the surface level, it's all sparkly and pretty.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just, you can plunge into the depths. And in 3 years, I've been able to go that deep and then come back to the surface with my treasure.
Well, speaking of the book signing, I was actually there, and we have video for that.
Yeah.
So I remember it was so different. There was so many drums and things like that. So do you plan on writing another book and having a book signing just like this one that you had?
It'll be different, but I have 2 more books in the making. And in this one, I know how to compose a book now.
All right.
And I do want
All right.
2 or 3 more.
All right. Thank you so much for being here today, Rob, and being so honest with me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Students are choosing to live healthier lifestyles. Being on the go, frequently snacking is the best way to cure hunger. VCU has teamed up with Canteen, a local vending company, in an effort to support a healthier lifestyle. Canteen has supplied healthier snacks and vending machines all across campus. As you approach the machine, you will see on the side, Choice Plus on certain snacks. This sign lets you know that you are choosing a healthy alternative to an unhealthy snack.
Most inspiring actors want to be seen. However, there are others who want to be heard. Insight's Paula Chavez is in the studio with the winner of a $100,000 voiceover contract.
I'm here with VCU senior Morgan Meadows, winner of the $100,000 voiceover contract from Studio Center's Next Great Voice Talent. Morgan, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So, let's start off with, what was your first reaction when you found out you were the winner of the Next Great Voice Talent?
Oh my gosh, I got a call from the marketing manager, and I had just walked into my apartment, and I just gotten off like a 5-hour shift of work, and I was just like putting my stuff down and like answering the phone, and when I realized it was her, I was like really surprised, and I was like, hi, how are you? And she asked me how I'd like my dreams to be coming true. She was like, how would you like your dreams to be coming true? And I was like, what? And she told me that I won, and I dropped all my stuff and like jumped up and down. It was really embarrassing. Like, had anyone have been there, I would have been embarrassed. But I was alone in my apartment, and I was just like screaming and jumping up and down. None of my roommates were home, and I just immediately called my parents afterwards. It was really exciting.
And well, how does the process work with the contest?
Well, there's Studio Center in 5 different states. There's 2 in Virginia Beach and Richmond, also Santa Monica, California, New York, and Las Vegas. Okay. And so there were preliminary auditions in each of those states where you could come in, everyone got the same 2 scripts, you read both scripts, there was a time limit, and you would interpret them in different ways. One of them was a heart attack commercial. So it was something more serious. And then one of them was like an upbeat, energetic furniture commercial. So they just got a read on your voice, how versatile you were. And that happened in each of the 5 states, each of the 5 locations. And from there, a top 20 from each location was chosen. And then there were votings. And then after that, there was a top 10. And that's where the finals happened. And in the final competition, you had to interpret 3 scripts. And in the final round, the judges got to see you. The preliminaries, there was a wall up, so they couldn't see you. They only based their judges off your voice. Okay. But they actually kind of got to meet you and know you in the final round, the top 10. So there you actually got to meet the CEO, a lot of the producers, and that's where I won the competition.
Wow, that's incredible. And how did you get started with voice acting? Like, what made you want to choose that?
Well, I'm an actor. I'm a theater major here at VCU. So interpreting scripts and taking on character roles, that's something that has always come naturally to me. I've been doing it my whole life, but I really got serious about it in high school, and then decided to major in theater and take on acting as a career in college. And I think that's something that definitely gave me an advantage because I was used to interpreting scripts and diving emotionally into different roles and empathizing with people, and I think that helps with the serious and the more funny voiceover scripts that I was auditioning with.
And how was the, I guess, atmosphere of the contest? Like, what was the experience that each of these people brought to the table?
It was really fun. The preliminaries, you went in, and the studios are really beautiful. Like, the Richmond studio is gorgeous, and we went in. They had like free pizza and water for everyone. They, the producers and the interns that work with studio are really, really efficient. Like, they had people in and out really quickly. They were very polite. It didn't feel rushed, but they got the job done. And then the finals, we were just sitting around a table all day waiting for it to be our turn. We were in the studio all day, and each person went in separately. We had time slots, and they were very efficient. down to the second when they would time it and you'd go in for your audition. But everyone was really, really nice. The other 9 contestants that I competed against, we were like a family by the end of the day. It wasn't like, a hard competition.
Yeah.
We all knew what we had to bring to the table. We all knew what the prize would be, but we all became friends. It was really good.
And what are, your plans for after graduation now that you have won $100,000?
Well, I just plan on diving right into it. I've already started doing some commercial work. I have some promos around Richmond, and hopefully we'll begin doing national commercials. And I just plan on paying off student loans pretty soon, but also diving into my acting career as well with my BFA in acting.
Oh, great. Well, I've been speaking with Virginia's newest voiceover talent, Morgan Meadows. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you.
Oh, thank you.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
The Richmond Metro Zoo has announced some major upgrades to how you can view their exotic animals. According to the Richmond Times-Dispatch, the zoo is building a treetop adventure park. This includes tight ropes, zip lines, and jungle bridges. The zoo's owners have not yet revealed any details about when the new features will launch.
Let's look at some events going on around town. The Capitol Ale House 10th Oktoberfest begins Saturday, September 21st. Capitol Ale House will shut down the streets in front of its downtown location for live music, German food, and tons of beer to celebrate the German holiday. There will be face painting, balloon animals, and giant inflatables for the kids. It opens at 11:30 a.m.
The State Fair opens September 27th and closes on October 6th. Bring your family out to the State Fair of Virginia at Meadow Event Park to enjoy midway rides, fried food, pig races, and much more. General admission ranges from $8 to $15.
It's that time of year again. The Ashland Berry Farm opens on September 28th. Come out to pick up pumpkins or enjoy a spooky hayride into the woods. Open Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And in sports, in college football, UVA will play VMI on September 21st in Charlottesville. The Cavaliers will return home again on October 5th against Ball State. And the University of Richmond return home after a bye weekend to play Towson on October 26th at Robins Stadium.
The nationally ranked VCU men's soccer team returns home September 21st to play Coastal Carolina at the Sport Backers Stadium. Bring your kids to watch the Rams.
There's still an ongoing debate as to where to build a minor league baseball stadium in the Richmond area. According to the Richmond Times-Dispatch, Mayor Dwight C. Jones is about to announce a plan to build the stadium in Shockoe Bottom. The Richmond mayor has previously not made any public announcements in regards to placing a baseball stadium in the Shockoe Bottom area. Those in favor of the stadium argue that it brings historical recognition to the slave trade that once existed there. But there are some opposed to the stadium, claiming that it does not bring awareness to our slave history.
Richmond celebrated its 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's March on Washington, hoping to shed light on the issues of equality. Insight's Emily Satchel has more.
Nearly 150 Richmonders gathered on August 31st for the March on Richmond for Jobs and Freedom. Activists from the Richmond NAACP, the A. Philip Randolph Institute, the Urban League of Greater Richmond, and Living the Dream all came together downtown at Festival Park in honor of MLK's March on Washington.
And it's to commemorate that march and to also still raise the awareness of we still have those same issues dealing with job, incarceration, and the equal rights of everyone to these jobs.
I have a dream today. The March on Washington was a big moment in the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech, in which he called to end economic and political discrimination for all. 50 years later, people of Richmond are rallying for the same reasons.
A newly released Quinnipiac poll surveyed Virginians and asked them whether they felt MLK's dream had been achieved. 44% of those polled said they still believe they would be judged based on the color of their skin.
Yes, I think there's always some injustice, and where there's any injustice, there's too much injustice. So.
Activists and host organizations aren't discouraged, though. They are vowing to continue the fight.
But the job after this is to do. And to do means to continue to go to these places where we need to go, continue to meet with the mayor, continue to raise this, because it's bigger than just a march.
While it may be a journey, they're in it for the long haul and are determined to fight until their dreams are realized.
Redeem the dream.
For VCU Insight, I'm Emily Satchel.
The Richmond NAACP is discussing political processes at the state convention at October 25th through the 27th.
Richmond's landscape became brighter and more colorful this summer. That's because the Richmond Mural Project returned with 20 new murals. Insight's Vernon Freeman has the story.
A boxer just outside the Cary Street Gym, a panda just off West Cary Street, and faces overlooking the Siegel Center on North Harrison Street are just some of 20 new additions to Richmond streets. 12 artists from all around the globe completed these murals in late July. The Richmond Mural Project was organized by Shane Pomahambo, the executive director of the Art Window Gallery in Maryland. Pomahambo has no connection to Richmond, but he handpicked the city after visiting and touring Broad Street. 2 of the murals greet customers to the 821 Cafe on West Cary Street. Owner Andrew Clark says the murals have been great for small businesses like his.
We had people come by snapping photos, I think just getting people in the areas where they wouldn't normally visit and just pay attention a little more.
While local business owners are very happy with the project, Richmond muralist Ed Trask has mixed feelings about it. He says he loves the Richmond Mural Project, but he doesn't want to see Richmond lose its identity.
A kid from Vienna who comes from Austria coming to Richmond, he doesn't care that much about the city. He's going to try to get up wherever he can, and then he's gone. He's never going to come back to this city. So what does it really mean to us?
Despite this fear, Trask has enjoyed the project and admires some of the work. This particular mural of a woman in a jar on West Grace Street really caught his attention.
Think of how many painters are going back and forth, looking at that going, oh my God, I can do that. I know I can do that. That's inspiring.
Inspiration that Trask says will lead to Richmond becoming a worldwide destination for art. For VCU Insight, I'm Vernon Freeman.
Organizers hope to bring over 100 murals to Richmond by the end of 2016.
And that's going to do it here for this edition of VCU Insight.
Make sure to check us out online at insight.vcu.edu. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Philip Marcello.
And I'm Paisley Winkler. We'll see you next time.